What I saw today was nothing short of incredible, fantastic, all of the things that you can say. Absolutely amazing, the turnout to Somerset Mall for the Blake Corum toy drive. I mean, it was beyond, I think, anyone's wildest imagination. We're going to talk about the gang gives back, essentially, on this episode of Locked On Wolverines.
You are Locked On Wolverines, your daily podcast on the Michigan Wolverines, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Happy Saturday. We're back and doing it. Locked On Wolverines podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. I'm your man on the ground, Isaiah Hole, publisher of Wolverines Wire through USA Today Sports Media Group. And I will tell you what, I'm so happy that I went against that of which I was really wanting to do, which was lay in bed. I really did not want to get up early. I really did not want to go to Somerset Mall. It's 40 minutes away. I did not want to be a part of crowds, all of that kind of stuff that kind of comes with just, several days of not getting great sleep. You just want to kind of rest and relax. It's Saturday, Army-Navy game's on. I just wanted to just chill, and against my own self, I got up early and went to Somerset Mall to see what ended up being something of a spectacle, right? This was an absolutely incredible event. Blake Corum, in case you didn't know, hosted a toy drive. It was supposed to be from 11 till 1-ish. And then after that was an autograph signing with just umpteen Wolverines. A lot of those players had come early to be a part of the toy drive as well. They were expecting about 1,000-ish people to come to this toy drive. Like, that's what they thought. They thought, we're going to get 11 through 1. We're going to be fine, right? Like, because the whole thing is you give a toy, you get a picture with Blake Corum. And it ended up being significantly, when I say significantly, I mean significantly bigger than what they anticipated. So kudos to everyone that put this on, from Champion Circle and Valiant to Nate Forbes, who owns Somerset Mall, to even WTKA for having Sam and Ira and having their show, their presence going from there. Wolverine Boot Company, shout out to my guy Scott Schessel. He listens to the show, doesn't watch it. I am currently decked out in a Wolverine shirt jacket that he gifted me at the event. Humble brag. But they put out an insane event. So for those who don't know, right? Like, because you're sitting there saying, like, okay, you're telling me about this. What did this end up being? I'm going to pull out my phone because I want to read this correctly. I don't want to just say whatever and not. So they thought maybe 1,000 people would probably come to this. This is in the same courtyard part as Santa. It certainly overshadowed the castle. There were lines going back and along each wing and into each store, and there on the first floor. We're talking going into Nordstrom and into Macy's, if you've been to Somerset Mall in the North Wing. So a spokesperson from Valiant tells me 15 to 20,000 people showed up to this event. We're talking as many or more people than show up in Little Caesars Arena are in the mall. I can attest, trying to get out of the mall after the autograph signing had started was impossible. It was like concert-style traffic trying to get out. 25,000 toys have been donated. 2 full box trucks of toys somewhere in the middle of the event. I'm sure it ended up being more. That speaks to a lot of different people. That speaks to Blake Corum's generosity of time and spirit and energy. That speaks to you and your generosity and your time and your spirit and your energy. This is what Michigan football is all about. Now, of course, there's going to be haters, right? There's going to be people that come out and even just with the tweets that I put out there's a couple Buckeyes out there that want to try to make light of it. They want to make it about Connor Stallions. They want to make it about whatever. Oh, crowd doesn't look that big, even though I said in the tweet, it does, this does not do it justice. I'm only getting it from the 3rd floor with my ultra wide camera. Everything's going to look like ants. It's not going to look nearly as packed, but I mean, it was overwhelming because they could not accommodate all the pictures, all these players that are available. Because at first it was, well, Blake's going to go and say hi to everybody. And then they realize that's not going to work. So we're just going to send out everyone from the team that is here, and they're just going to go out into the crowd, and they're going to try to say hi to everybody. If you want to get a picture, get your picture. And but you have to be ready. You have to be ready to jump on this, right? I walk down one wing, the Nordstrom wing, and so I get down there like halfway. I'm like struggling to breathe because there's just so many people. You know, you ever have that feeling where it's just like the crowd is too much for you? That's how I felt. And I'm not complaining about that. What I'm trying to tell you is that is how many people showed up with toys in hand, ready to give back to Detroit rescue missions. I mean, this is just an overwhelming success. Absolutely wild that this is the type of thing that y'all have done, right? The fact that y'all showed up in such a big way. And it really was one of those things where it felt like a big, giant family. And to see like Blake in the middle of the crowd, just accepting all the love that's being bestowed upon him. And he said afterwards, we talked to him right at the beginning of the autograph event. And he, you know, there's music playing. It's hard to hear. I literally couldn't hear. I just had to listen to what Aaron McMahon and Josh Henschke were asking on camera. But he's like, listen, this is community. This is what a community is. This is all about what you guys are able to do. And he said, I wanted to do one last big thing. I didn't want to end on the turkey drive. I want to do one last big thing. And he did it. I mean, this is the type of thing that you want from your Michigan players of all, right? It's not just about winning. It's about this. And like I said, there's going to be a lot of people that try to turn it into something that it's not. They want to make it into a rivalry thing, which is ridiculous, right? Like, we have to remember our own humanity here. It's not just, you know, the blue team versus the red team. I know I'm simplifying here, but some things are just bigger than rivalries. And I think that if an Ohio State player had done the same thing, we should be applauding them with the same amount of merit that Blake Corum deserves in this moment. Certainly, I haven't heard of a lot of that stuff because I don't have my ear to the ground for Ohio State charity things. But nonetheless, anytime anyone does something like this is the type of behavior and things that you want from your football players, especially in the age of NIL. And that's what makes it that much more amazing, is that in the age of NIL, this is the type of thing that Blake Corum does. He doesn't, I understand he ends up being in the center, ends up feeling like he's putting a lot on for himself if you try to twist it into that. But this is just a selfless guy who just wants to help. He's got the mind and the heart of a champion. He serves the Lord, which I absolutely adore as well. And this is just the coolest thing. I'm still buzzing with energy after that. I'm also buzzing with energy from having gotten to meet a lot of you. I think about 15 of you, maybe 20 of you said hi to me during the event, and I really appreciate that. It's really great to put some names and faces together. So thank you very much for coming out and supporting Blake and the toy drive, the Detroit rescue missions. This is a really cool thing. So very good stuff. We're going to move on by talking about a couple other things. I want to talk about Will Johnson. We talked to him briefly, talked to Semaj Morgan as well. And then I'm going to open up, if you're watching, this is going to be a lot better if you're watching. I'll be as descriptive as I can. We're listening. Got a couple packs here of the Michigan 2023 official team trading cards. They're the officially licensed ones through Valiant. We're going to open up these together and go through some of that. It's just going to be a kind of a fun, laid-back Saturday. We'll get into the more hard stuff later. I think it's sometimes we need a little bit of light instead of just let's just get into it. So we will do that here in just a moment. But before we do, listen, the Rose Bowl is coming up. You all know this. I know there's a lot of you that are sitting there thinking like, I didn't get the official tickets and I want to go. Where on the secondary market should I go? Because there's a lot of untrustworthiness out there, but I've got one place that is super trustworthy, and that's Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to your next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all sports, music, comedy, theater, all of that near you. So with last-minute killer deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their best price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying tickets. They are obsessed with finding ways to help you save money on tickets, which I think is really cool and important. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event, even an hour after it starts. So if you find yourself hanging around Pasadena and you're like, I think I really want to go to this, you can get your tickets. So you can also find exclusive flash deals, sponsored deals for tickets to football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. With zone deals, you can pick the section, and Game Time picks the seats for an average of an 18% savings. That can really add up quick, especially when you're adding multiple tickets. And the Game Time guarantee means that you'll get the best price. So if you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account at Game Time. You can use the app. You can go to gametime.co. You use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. So if you follow me on Twitter, and I'm sure a lot of you do, at Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, I've gone back to, I started calling it X for a minute, and then I'm just back to calling it Twitter. I think it's in part, Sarah's like, I'm not ever calling it X, ever. So when I'm like, oh, did you see this on Twitter? Then I'm like, okay, well, that just makes it easier just to stay on the same page. When I'm write it, I have to say X, formerly known as Twitter, or formerly Twitter, or whatever. But here we can just say Twitter. I don't know why we needed a preamble to that, but we did. We did it. Then, first off, you'll notice that I've been posting just about every day this Drewski comedy video featuring Willie, Roll Tide Willie, and Chad, who's the main guy who posts for Roll Tide Willie. And it is such a delight. It is my favorite video I have ever seen in my life. I absolutely adore it. I don't give a piss about nothing but the tide, baby. It's how it starts. And it's wonderful in every single way. I'm not making fun of it either. I legitimately want to, I'm hoping that those guys are at the Rose Bowl. It's a perfect video in my eyes. But there's another video that I've been watching with regularity. That one I've probably seen literally 250 times. I have sat for an hour and just watched it on a loop. But there's another one that I have pulled up. I estimated 10 times, but I've probably watched it more like 20, 25 times. That video is Semaj Morgan in the post game of the Big Ten championship. I think that is just the most incredible post game interview ever. And I know that you've all enjoyed it as well. It's gone viral. And it's funny because it's not like anything really truly happened. It was just, we all know that Semaj is going to tell you exactly what he thinks. And there's no it's not like a senior with effective media training. I'm sure he's received media training and he's just decided, I'm still just going to be me. And that's what this team has long needed. There's a lot of guys that are just them. Trevor Keegan's probably my favorite on the team in general, partially because of that. He's very, he's got the etiquette, but he's also just like the dude that you'd want to hang out with, right? I've told Trevor, listen, I've told him flat out to his face, I love you. Because I do. The Keegans are just wonderful people. Sidebar, Mike and Amanda Keegan are just fantastic people, and unbelievable. And I wish that I would have gotten to know them, sometime before the end of Trevor's career, because they're just amazing, amazing people. But Semaj, I'm so happy that we are in year one of Semaj, because he is a national treasure. And when you watch that video, it's just, you can just see he's about to go off the rails. Somehow he stays on the rails, but he's about to go off the rails. And there's a moment where Jenny Taft pulls back because after Derek Moore comes up and says best freshman on the field, and he says, he tells the truth, no cap. I am the best freshman. And then Jenny Taft just quickly pulls the microphone back. And it's like, okay. Yeah, she understood the assignment. But the way that Semaj got onto this, he was just thrust upon Jenny Taft in the typical Jim Harbaugh bait and switch. And she handled it like a true professional. But anyway, we talked to him today about the punt return, and he's kind of marveling at how everyone wants to stop him and talk to him about it. And I also asked him about about that post game interview, and he's like, yeah, I've had other national interviews after high school championship game, all that. This was different. This was different. But I'm gonna go out there and say what I think and what I feel. Just a national treasure. Must protect him at all costs. So that's my thoughts on that. I know it's not necessarily anything groundbreaking, but I'm sure that a lot of you are with me on this same deal of just loving Semaj Morgan. And when they asked us, like, what players do you want? Aaron McMahon's like, we want Will Johnson. We need Blake Corum because it's a Blake Corum event. And I'm like, Semaj Morgan. We need Semaj Morgan. We absolutely need to get this man in front of a camera and a microphone any time that we can. And I know that when we go to Pasadena and we have media day, where we get literally every player available, I'm going to camp out in front of Semaj Morgan, and I'm just going to listen. I'm going to give him very small prompts and listen. He said, all the questions that Jenny Taft asked were easy to answer. So I think that's just absolutely wonderful as well. So, Will Johnson, we talked to him today as well. He is, I haven't written about him yet, so I don't have the quotes quite as memorized as I do the Semaj ones, but he feels like he'll be fully ready to go come the Alabama game. Probably could have played. I mean, this isn't breaking news here. Probably could have played in the Big Ten championship game if he really needed to, but really only started running again the last few days. So healing up, ready for the challenge. Doesn't necessarily, I asked him, I said, how did facing Marvin Harrison, how did that help you against Alabama? Or how will that help going forward? And he's like, I don't really think it does. It's like every opponent, right? Obviously, Alabama is not known for having Isaiah Bond's obviously really good. They got another receiver that's got more yards than Isaiah Bond. I can't remember his name offhand. But nonetheless, he feels ready to go, right, in terms of mentally, and doesn't necessarily feel like that one game against that one high-end receiver helps him in a specific way. But I think it helps in a way, right? You were able to somewhat limit Marvin Harrison, somewhat. So very cool stuff. Again, nothing groundbreaking. They're not every show is going to be groundbreaking. Let me put it that way, okay? This is just a fun Saturday show, okay? We'll get into the more nitty-gritty as we go along, but this is what we got today. I'm still, again, buzzing from this toy drive. It was just incredible. The energy there was beyond what I expected. All right, so we're going to move on, and we're going to open up some of these football card packs. If you're listening instead of watching, I'm going to try to describe to you what these are. And if you're watching, I'll show you a little bit more than that. Before we get into that, when you're hiring for your small business, you want to have as many top-tier candidates as possible to interview. That's why you have to check out LinkedIn Jobs. LinkedIn Jobs has the tools to help you find the right professionals for your team faster and for free. It's like dipping into your own personal transfer portal, as I like to say. Help your own company win its championship. And the only way you can do that is by finding the best transfer portal candidates, quality candidates that you want to interview, not just anyone all willy-nilly off the street. Find the ones that you want. LinkedIn isn't just another job board. LinkedIn has a vast network, I'm sure that sounds familiar, of more than 1 billion professionals, which makes it the best place to hire. Hiring is easy when you've got that many quality candidates. So easy, in fact, that 86% of small businesses get a qualified candidate within 24 hours. Hiring, super easy, as I mentioned. And that's all due to LinkedIn Jobs, because they know that small businesses are wearing so many hats and might not have the time or resources to hire. Thankfully, with LinkedIn, the process is intuitive, quick, and easy. They even just launched a feature that helps you write job descriptions, making the process even easier and quicker than ever. To post your job for free at linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. That's linkedin.com/lockedoncollege. To post your job for free, terms and conditions apply. I think this is the first time on this show that we have done something that's been super video specific. It's going to be difficult. I'm going to have to... Oh, okay. So sorry, audio listeners. I know you're the bulk of people here. But I'll encourage you, if you're interested, to come back and watch it on video. Segment 3. So we've got these Michigan Football 2023 official team trading cards, 10 cards per pack. I've had the 2022 ones. I've never seen any of the 2023 ones outside of the special ones, which I think 90% of those are my pictures. So I love that. These, I don't know. I don't know what are mine and what aren't. We are going to take a look. I'm going to go ahead and open these up. Try to do it carefully as to not bend anything. Thank you to Valiant for these. Morgan Banta for handing these to me. All right. So first, hey, look at that. Right off the bat, we got the man of the hour. We got Blake Corum. See if we can try to show it there. There we go. Probably losing some volume here. Very cool. So you got the star player right off the bat. You got a Tommy Doman picture. No, this isn't my picture because we got it on autofocus, so it should automatically do it. It doesn't want to. It doesn't like Tommy. Anyway, because he's in the process of kicking. Got a Josh Beadham. I really think we've ended the focus process. You're not going to be able to see any more of these. Derek Moore. We got a sticker. We got a helmet sticker that comes with this, by the way. That's very cool. You're just going to have to zoom in on your own because I just don't think I can get this to focus anymore. Derek Moore. Hey, this one is one of my pictures, I'm pretty sure. It's not a great one. But it's of Benjamin Hall from the spring game. We're all anxiously awaiting to see what he was at this event, too. It was very cool. I mean, there was just so many players there. This one is not my picture. They really should have used mine. Donovan Edwards scoring the touchdown against Ohio State. Now, that is a keeper. And why do I say I should use mine? Because this is the side of him, and I had the front. I'm on the other side of this picture. You got Jalen Harrell. I mean, we're just getting all the star players here. Jalen Harrell. Jalen Harrell, however you want to say it. We've got, I'm pretty sure this is mine too. Jair Hill. That's out of focus as much as my own picture is in the card. And a Josiah Stewart. So, like, out of all of these, I mean, we want to try to sort these. We got a starter in Jalen Harrell. We got a star in Donovan Edwards. Starter in Derek Moore. You got another starter in Blake Corum. I mean, that's, considering what the team's makeup is, that's pretty good. Let's open pack number 2. Again, you can get these at MDen. I just think these are just so cool. As someone who used to collect baseball cards, I had some football cards. I didn't care about football in that time frame. I had like a bunch of like 1986. I probably had a Jim Harbaugh card. Unfortunately, all my cards were ruined in a basement flood. So that kind of sucks. But, all right. This one is one of my pictures. Opening it up right away is Frederick Moore. This one's going to be worth something down the line, right? Got a train going on in the background. You can't really see it because I can't get it to focus. That's the star of this, is the not being able to focus. I got an Alex Orgy. You know, everyone loves a little orgy in the end zone. Okay, that's, again, we're not able to get this to focus. We got Joey Klender. We got Kalel Mullings. Just hold it back here so it stays in focus. We got a special one. So the helmet sticker was the special card in the other one. This one we got Wolverines legend Jehu Chesson. That's very cool. Cool little special card of Jehu Chesson. Got a CJ Stokes. Adam Gadis. A Dan Taraboy. I know a lot of you are like, what is going on here? Micah Pollard. And we finish off with Davis Warren. I didn't even look at any of these to see if there are any of my pictures. I'm sure some of the random people are, some of them are probably mine. I don't know. Cool stuff, though. Highly recommend. Valiant who is the one who does these, is just doing an incredible job between the cards. I mean, this is just something that is totally worth it. Remember, all of this goes, all part of NIL, right? So it all goes to, the proceeds go to the players themselves, much like the Michigan versus everybody. I've seen some mock-ups for some future Michigan versus everybody stuff, and I've already told them, like, I need it. I absolutely need it. So hopefully you'll see that quickly. But this is also just part of, like, I mean, the autograph thing was part of NIL, $125 a ticket to that. There were still thousands upon thousands of people available for the autograph signing, and that supported like 30-ish guys. I mean, people like, you could have came and met Donovan Edwards and Blake Corum and Trente Jones and Josiah Stewart and Jalen Harrell. I mean, Cornelius Johnson. So many people. Trevor Keegan, Zach Zinter was there as well. His parents were there. It was awesome. And I mean, just it was the bulk of the guys on the team that you know. Drake Nugent, Carson Barnhart. I know I'm missing a ton. Kenneth Grant, Mason Graham, Braden McGregor. I mean, Mike Barrett, Junior Colston. I mean, it was like everybody. So it just really goes to show that NIL is something that is working right now. And you're seeing it kind of more from the transfer portal perspective than you are necessarily in recruiting. And if Michigan is able to get a Trevor Etienne, a Dante Moore, you know, if they're able to dip in and get some more linemen, I don't really believe Walter Nolan's going to be on the table, to be honest. But some more guys like that. It's stuff like this, which is cool because you get something out of it, and then the players get something out of it as well. So there's a whole point to that. And that is how Michigan's chosen to play NIL. And honestly, it really could work very well. AJ Barner, Colston Loveland, both there. But AJ Barner, like, again, out of all of this, like, so many of the transfers there, AJ Barner, Josiah Stewart, Drake Nugent. I know I'm missing some here that were transfers that were there. But that just goes to show how beneficial these events can be and different merchandise can be. Because it helps them lure some of these guys to some degree. And then if they win a championship, then it becomes a bigger lure. So, good stuff. All right, this was our show about nothing. That's what it feels like. It's like an episode of Seinfeld. That's where my reference is. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will be back soon. We'll be back on Sunday is the plan. Don't be surprised if it isn't. If that's the case, then we'll try to double up one of the days this week. And if that doesn't happen, then that doesn't happen either. We know how this show operates. If you're an OG, if you've been around for a while. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Peace.